Lovely beverage. Test. Okay, let's start. Hi, I'm Steve from PixelBump. Normally on Thursdays I have interviews with other working artists, but lately my schedule and the schedule of people that I work with haven't been able to sync up for me to do more interviews. And that's something that happens quite a bit when you're a freelancer. When you're working, your friends are not. When your friends are working, you are not. So instead of not putting up new interviews, I thought maybe I would take this chance to try something a little different. Just talk to you guys about things that have been brought up in the interviews but maybe didn't get enough depth, or some things that we haven't gone over yet that maybe you'll find interesting. Having a hard time right now. I'm not used to being on camera like, ooh, it's me. It's distracting. So to help you know whether or not you're going to find some information in this video useful, I'm going to have a little counter here. Ooh, very nice. And it is going to tell you what we're going to be talking about in which. And this space over here is reserved for dogs. Eventually, I think some will show up there. First thing I'd love to talk about today is money. I've seen this subject come up a few times in the last few weeks, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to just kind of go over some basics. I've said over and over again, I know most of what I know from the people I've worked with, and it'd be a good idea for somebody who's worked as long as I have to give you a little bit of what I know about the business end. First question I get a lot is, how much should I get paid? And that's really going to depend on your skill set, on where you're working, and on the type of project you're working on. If you're an After Effects specialist who's just starting out, you're going to be working at a bit of a lower rate than somebody who is a 2D and 3D person. The more that you know, the more you can make. But even as you're starting out and building your skill set, I wouldn't recommend going below a certain level. And for me, I would say that level is $25 an hour for a 10-hour day or a $250 day rate. There aren't hard and fast rules for this. It's going to vary from shop to shop. People who are solid 2D and 3D artists may be able to command $400 at one shop and $500 at another. But my point is, as long as you can do the work and do it well, be a good person around the office and not piss anyone off, there's going to be people who are going to want to pay you to do what you do. So don't ever feel you need to undercut yourself. The businesses need the artists as much as the artists need the business. So if someone asks you what your rate is, what do you say? Your rate is how much you're looking to get paid. And that can be based on an hourly rate, a day rate, or a project rate. Most people will charge for either an 8 or 10-hour workday, with 10 being the more common. In fact, in the last few years, I'm not sure if I've ever worked less than 10 hours a day. And while a day rate is the most common, you may also be asked for an hourly rate or a project rate. And the way I come up with my hourly rate, I take my day rate, I divide it by 10 hours, and that's my hourly rate. If someone says this project will take 3 weeks, I take those 15 work days, multiply it by my day rate, and that becomes my project rate. So what is a hold? A hold is when a studio believes they're going to need your services and want to make sure that you're available for their project. Now, they may not be able to commit to you at that moment, be it that the contract hasn't fully been signed, be it that they're waiting for the final budget to be approved, but as long as the project is going through, they know they want you, so they're going to ask for a hold. Now, from time to time, people will put you on hold and then forget to release you. And because fate is a weird thing, a lot of times the minute you get on hold, you've got somebody ready to commit you to another job. And you have to make a decision at that point. Do you want to wait for the hold, or do you want to take the job that's being offered right now? If you decide to take the job that's being offered right now, you just need to talk to that producer and let them know you need your hold released. But because this is a business of relationships, you do run the risk of burning a bridge with a producer by removing yourself from a hold before they release you. It's just one of the many wonderful things about being in a business of creatives. I hope some of this information is useful to you. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter or Facebook or down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Go and create.